Hello everyone, I'm meteorologist Charlie Ironmonger. Thank you so much for joining me today for your 9 a.m. news and weather update from the First Alert Desk. Now we've got news out of Onslow County where a man has been arrested again for child porn charges. 26-year-old Angel Gutierrez Cardenas was arrested by Jacksonville police officers yesterday morning. Now, according to warrants, Cardenas had visual material that included young boys between the ages of 1 and 10 years old. Now, warrants say that the offense happened back in May. Gutierrez Cardenas is charged with 3 counts of second-degree exploitation of a minor and 2 counts of third-degree sexual exploitation of a minor. Court documents say he has another pending case from July where he was arrested and charged with third-degree sexual exploitation of a minor. Now, he was taken to the Onslow County Jail on Thursday without bond. And now we want to turn our attention to flight delays that are going to again becoming more and more common as the government shutdown continues and flight controllers start receiving no paychecks for their work. NBC's Tom Costello has more on the delays experienced across airports today and what the future looks like over the next few weeks.
This morning, Alaska Airlines is finally coming back online. A major company-wide computer issue at its primary data center, forcing the airline to issue a temporary ground stop that lasted for hours and canceling more than 150 flights yesterday. The airline's subsidiary, Horizon Air, also impacted. But another, Hawaiian Airlines, is still flying. In a statement, the airline apologized to its passengers, saying the safety of our flights was never compromised and clarifying the IT outage is not a cybersecurity event. Grounded passengers expressing their frustration on social media.
People on that plane have been sitting there in Seattle for 1 hour and 20 minutes right here on a taxiway.
At SeaTac Airport, Sherry and Steve Plastick were about to board their flight when they saw a bad sign.
We're just sitting at the gate, and then all of a sudden we saw like the computer screens went blank. They just put up the Alaska Airlines kind of logo.
Fellow passengers on their plane learned about the outage online.
They noticed that there was a news story that there was some kind of system outage, but we on the plane had no idea that that was happening.
It's the second time in the last 3 months that Alaska Airlines has been forced to stop its flights.
We are stopping operations for this evening.
The country's 5th largest airline also grounding flights in July, blaming another tech outage that caused chaos and serious delays.
Alaska Airlines, how did this happen twice?
And again, that was Tom Costello reporting. We now turn to your weather forecast. Today is a day where we again are looking at sunny skies across eastern North Carolina. But right now we've got our eyes on the Caribbean as Tropical Storm Melissa is expected to become a hurricane over the next 48 hours. Right now has maximum sustained winds of 45 miles an hour around that central low, gusts up to 60 miles an hour, and current air pressure reading 1,001 millibars. Now, over the next few days, this is going to be a system that's going to be experiencing rapid intensification, currently moving, if you could even call it moving east at 1 mile per hour. This thing is just a slow-moving system, which is going to do it a lot of good from an intensification standpoint. Of course, not good for anyone around the Caribbean, especially across Haiti as well as Jamaica. Those two areas, again, are going to be experiencing, unfortunately, the worst out of this system. But the Caribbean right now is chock full of warm water. It is one of the hottest spots in the Atlantic basin, and with all of that heat energy present, it will again lead to a rapid intensification with this system. So over the next few days, this system is going to slowly meander its way up towards Jamaica. Here's a look at that track. It's going to be a slow mover, but by the time we get to really Sunday, could be a Category 2 hurricane. And then from Monday, Tuesday into Wednesday, it will increase up to a Category 3 and potentially a Category 4 hurricane as it then tracks over the I'd say the southeastern end of Cuba. We'll move over the Turks and Caicos, and then from there, it's just a straight trajectory out into the Atlantic. It's expected to stay off to the east of Bermuda, which is great news for us. If we're to experience anything out of Melissa, at this point, it looks like we could see perhaps some large swells reach our coastline, maybe a little beach erosion because of those large swells. But that's really it. It's wave energy that is going to be the issue for us. And even that, when compared to what they're going to be experiencing across Jamaica, is really small potatoes. 50 degrees right now in Grifton, lots of sunshine, and northerly breeze coming in at 5 miles an hour. The air is still very dry, though, so do want to advise people to, again, hold off on burning anything in the lawn, in your yard. We've got a drought that's spread across 80% of eastern North Carolina, with a hefty chunk of the east. Right now, I'd say around 40% of the east under a severe drought. So this is, again, not something you want to really play with or take a chance on. Coming up this evening, air temperatures are going to be falling a little bit faster, which will put us into the upper 30s by the time we reach tomorrow morning. Air temperatures today expected to get into the mid to upper 60s, and then we will hold at that level over the upcoming weekend. Tomorrow morning, again, upper 30s to low 40s as we wake up, but then in the afternoon, highs around 64, 65, 66 degrees. It's not going to be a warm, toasty weekend, but it will be a sunny and dry weekend. Certainly one where I think more people are going to be out in their sweats than what we've seen over the past several weekends. But we've got our eyes on that area of low pressure back towards the Midwest. That is a system that will eventually swing quite a bit of moisture across eastern North Carolina and across the southeastern United States. It's not just an us storm. This is going to be a system that puts rain down all across the southeast. It will impact us, though, at the earliest late Sunday evening to Sunday night. I think most of us are going to be seeing all of those raindrops really arrive more so on Monday morning, and then carrying over as we head into Tuesday. This will likely end up being a system that lingers for a few days, keeping us wet for the start of next week, which is fantastic. We need those drops. Again, I showed you the drought monitor earlier, and we're not going to be seeing anything to fix that drought problem until we get those raindrops falling. Again, right now it does look like we'll have rain and a very wet start to the week next week. But all eyes again on Friday, as Friday is Halloween next Friday. Looking pretty good right now. It's not a complete guarantee that Friday won't be without maybe a stray drop or two. But if we do see any showers on Friday, it will likely be coastal and in the morning. So by the time we get to Friday evening, when the trick-or-treaters are ready to hit the road, at that point, it should be dry throughout eastern North Carolina. And again, should be. I'm going to knock on wood too. That way we make sure it comes true. That's all we have time for today's 9 a.m. news and weather update from the First Alert Desk. I want to thank you all so much for joining me. We'll be back with more news and weather coming up at the top of the hour. Until then, have a fantastic Friday.
This hour of the WITN First Alert Desk is sponsored by ENC Pirate Realty.